This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Hey everybody, it's the After Party live on a Waterfall Wednesday. Thank you for being here, and thank you for, again, as always, your patience as I transition between these two shows. I know you guys are waiting 10 minutes or so thank you very much for hanging out and hanging in with me here on the After Party Live. Please click the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do that as well. Helps me, helps the show continue. And thank you to all who've contributed stories today. I have one from Jim, so I'm excited to share that with you. Also, for folks that have contributed financially to help this show keep going, I'd like to recognize Wes, all the way from his hometown, stranded in the snow. Thank you, Wes, for the 5. Carol S., Rhonda A., Gretchen L., and Karen K., also with very generous donations. Huge thank you. The show does not exist without this kind of support, and you make it happen. Thank you so much. Let's get right to this story, because I want to make sure that this story Jim sent me last night that is now everywhere. And hi, Nullifidian, thank you for the recommendation, or the note, the hello, and thank you, Rev P, as well. I want to make sure that this story that is now everywhere gets here on the After Party Live. It is too good not to share. And thank you to Jim for sending. Here is the aftermath of a liquor store that was ransacked by a raccoon. Happened in Virginia. This is the ABC store, the Ashland ABC store in Virginia. This happened on the night of Black Friday, November 28th. This raccoon made its way into this liquor store, and you could say is a party animal, yes. Apparently had a field day with some booze, drank quite a bit, managed to consume a bit of alcohol, and got very intoxicated. This raccoon ended up passing out on the floor of the bathroom in the back of the liquor store, in between the toilet and the trash can. Oh my goodness. Yes. There are a lot of people asking, how did he know that when you're drunk, you need to get near a toilet? How did he know that make his way back to the bathroom? The raccoon apparently helping himself or itself to several liquor containers before employees found it sprawled on the bathroom floor like a drunk human. Some people are saying they should get a tiny little mugshot. What I can tell you is that the animal people were called out and managed to get this raccoon and get it some veterinary care and take it to safety. They said after a few hours of sleep and zero signs of injury other than maybe a hangover because of poor life choices, the raccoon was safely released back into the wild, hopefully having learned that breaking and entering is not the answer. They say it's not the first time this year that a raccoon was found in a place where it shouldn't have been. There was we did the story here. In May, a raccoon was found with a glass meth pipe in its mouth, sitting in the driver's seat of a car in Ohio. The vehicle had been pulled over because the owner had expired registration stickers and a warrant for a suspended driver's license, and apparently had been keeping a pet raccoon who had the meth pipe in its mouth and was sitting in the driver's seat. This one, though, breaking into a liquor store, drinking the booze and passing out in the bathroom. The bottle smashed, ceiling tiles collapsed, alcohol pooled on the floor. Yeah. And then at the end, passed out on the bathroom floor, just like your other common drunks, right? There he is. Thank you to Jim for sending this story. I have some sad news to report. Claude has passed away. Claude is the albino alligator, that was a main feature at the California Academy of Arts and Sciences in San Francisco. Claude was 30 years old, and he was cool. He was really interesting looking. I don't know what kind of a solitary solitude life he led, if that was a good life for an alligator or not, but I know that people loved Claude. They said he had quite a bit of charisma. He lived in San Francisco for 17 of his 30 years. There are fewer than 200 albino alligators in the world. And the folks at the California Academy of Arts and Sciences said Claude showed us the power of ambassador animals to connect people to nature and stoke curiosity to learn more about the world around us. He was hatched in 1995 at an alligator farm in Louisiana and born with albinism, which is this genetic mutation that made him appear white. His eyes look pinkish red because of the blood vessels visible through his clear irises. He probably lived a lot longer than he would have in the wild. Albino alligators don't survive for long out in the wild, wild world. American alligators in captivity can live up to 70 years. So perhaps the thinking was that he would have lived longer. The museum celebrated Claude's 30th birthday in September, had a big party. He was a 300-pound alligator, 10 feet long, 300-pounder. And recently he underwent treatment for some kind of infection. He had been showing signs of reduced appetite. They're going to take the body to UC Davis Vet Center to see if they can learn exactly what happened and why Claude died. So the plan is at the California Academy of Arts and Sciences to hold a public memorial for Claude. But for now, if you have memories of Claude, you can send messages to the human care team at the California Academy of Sciences in San Francisco. And I'm sure a lot of people have pictures to send in. Farewell, Claude. That's a sad one. This is not a sad one. This is a record setter. Yeah. This dog now has the longest dog tongue. That's quite a tongue you've got there. The dog is from Oklahoma. The tongue is 7 inches long. It is the world's longest tongue. 7.83 inches long. 7.83 inches. This is Ozzy. He is a Mastiff and Bull Mastiff mix, and he has earned the title of the longest tongue on a living dog. The previous winner or record holder was a dog named Rocky who had a 5.46 inch long tongue. And I mean, Ozzy, this dog's name is Ozzy, just blows that away. 7.83 inches. The family that he lives with said he's always had a tongue that sticks out of his mouth ever since he was born. There's nothing medically wrong with him. They said we've had him looked at a couple times by a vet, and there's no dental issues, nothing that would make his tongue loll out of his mouth this way. It's just abnormally and awkwardly long. They say you would think that maybe this dog was a big slobberer, but it's not a slobbering issue. It's just a tongue hanging out issue. They said it's funny for his tongue to be the way it is. He doesn't really lick you a whole lot. He doesn't give kisses. He gets in your face and loves to rub noses, but he doesn't lick on a lot of stuff. Probably because his tongue is so long, it's unwieldy. Ozzy is the recipient of the world's longest tongue. I don't know if you saw this. This is, when I first saw this, I thought maybe it would be a funny story, and I don't necessarily think it is. This woman is a reporter for a station in New Zealand, and she was outside filming when she was hit by a bird.
Tyson went above and beyond the call of duty. Watch this.
Because its shelf life in the wardrobe is going to be short-lived. Do again? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like maybe she had a little, I don't know if she was scared or if it got scratched, something.
Watch it again.
Ow.
I can't say
Man.
I've ever heard of that happening before. Just to say, Jess is fully recovered. No word on the bird, but she's insisting she's only doing indoor shoots from now on. And I must admit, I'll be looking twice myself while filming outdoors.
Yeah. So that was kind of a scary one. I mean, you've seen reporters in all kinds of situations. We covered this one on the Mark Thompson show. Here's this pendant. I'm going to tell you a little more about this. This is a Fabergé pendant inspired by a James Bond movie. And it's worth $19,000. You can see it's encrusted with diamonds and sapphires. It's got this golden octopus inside. Yeah. Well, this man tried to smuggle it out of a jewelry store in New Zealand by swallowing it. 32-year-old guy. He's accused of eating this Fabergé octopus pendant at the Partridge Jewelers in Auckland. They say at the time of his arrest, he underwent a medical assessment. There's an officer assigned to constantly monitor him. At this stage, the pendant has not been recovered. He was charged for allegedly stealing the Fabergé 007 special edition Octopussy egg surprise locket, valued at around $19,000 US dollars, 33,000 if you're in New Zealand. He was arrested inside the jewelry store minutes after the alleged theft. This is a Fabergé pendant, and it's not small either. It was inspired by the James Bond film Octopussy, and central to the plot in that movie is this jewel smuggling operation that involves a fake Fabergé egg. There are only 50 of these pendants that have been made. It's crafted from gold, painted with green enamel, encrusted with 183 diamonds, 2 sapphires. It's about 8.5 centimeters tall, and it's mounted on a stand. Inside, you can see here, the egg opens to reveal an 18-karat yellow gold octopus adorned with white diamond suckers and black diamond eyes. So, hasn't emerged yet. And interestingly, this whole swallowing of the pendant happened on November 28th. So they're still apparently at the jail waiting for it to come out the other end. And the question I have is, if you're in the market for one of these, do you want to buy the one that made its way through someone's digestive system? Can you ever get it clean enough? I don't know if I want that one, actually. I'll take one of the other 50. No. That's so gross. Oh man. So, yeah, it'd be really hard to refute that evidence when it pops out the other side. I think you're pretty much caught. Another kind of feel-good story, holiday story. This is a Christmas tree made from 100,000 balloons. It is at a British hotel. It is a 25-foot tall Christmas tree assembled from 100,000 balloons. It's in the inside of the, or outside of the, I should say, the Moore Hall Hotel and Spa in Sutton Coldfield, Birmingham. And it consists of, this has got to be a lot of work, 100,000 balloons and a transparent dome. So it kind of looks like it's in a snow globe almost. The globe meant to protect the tree's parts from popping or blowing away. The balloon artist that did this came up with the idea as a means of raising money for charity. So each of these balloons can be sponsored for a little over $3, or if you want to pay a little over $13, you can purchase a memorial balloon in honor of a loved one who has passed on. $165, and you get a branded balloon bauble on the tree as well. So they said there was a massive team that put this balloon tree together with engineers and blowers and a design team. The balloons are biodegradable, which is a good thing. Precision engineering and a bespoke globe to create something magical, all while supporting vital local charities. So there it is, this Christmas tree made from 100,000 balloons. It's a lot of balloons. There's a story about this Pokemon card. This is apparently a first time that someone traded in a Pokemon card at a GameStop for more than $30,000. It's a trade-in record. Who knew there were Pokemon cards worth 30 grand? This is the most valuable single trade-in ever recorded in GameStop history. They released a statement saying a customer in Grapevine, Texas brought a fully authenticated PSA 10 hollow Genjar into their store. They put the card through the inspection process, verification, and compliance procedures. They found it to have a fair market valuation of $33,883. The store paid the customer $30,494 for the card, and it now constitutes the most valuable single trade-in ever recorded in GameStop history. They paid almost $3,300 under fair market value. So, mm, um, that's a lot. I don't know who other than GameStop, who would pay you $34,000 for a Pokemon card? That's wild. But there it is in all its glory. These very rare cards. I have a kind of a serious story that I wanted to get to. It's just because it's interesting to note, just a personal story. My husband's younger sister, who actually is exactly my age, give or take a couple of months, or was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 28. And the doctor didn't believe that it was. It was a lump, but they said, just watch it, it'll go away. Probably a cyst. She was so young, the doctor didn't believe that it would have posed a real risk. And she passed away of breast cancer at the age of 32. Misdiagnosed. By the time they caught it, it was too late. She was really lovely and wonderful, and I feel like I got cheated out of an amazing sister-in-law. Well, there's a new study that shows this is not necessarily abnormal. And hopefully the results of the study will make doctors pay closer attention. They suggest that 1 in 4 breast cancers happen before the age of 50 in younger women. They looked at 7 outpatient clinics in the New York region. 20 to 24% of breast cancers there were found in women between the ages of 18 and 49. The findings, not peer-reviewed yet, but they were presented at the Radiological Society of North America's annual meeting in Chicago. And the researchers from the New York Breast Care Center say this research shows that a significant proportion of cancers are diagnosed in women under 40. And this is a group for whom there are no screening guidelines at this time, because you're not supposed to get a mammogram until you're at least 40 is when it kicks in, right? When you turn 40, then you got to go in for your yearly squeeze. The American Cancer Society says annual mammograms at the age of start at the age of 45 now, but women can choose to begin breast cancer screening as young as the age of 40. So they looked for this study at breast cancer diagnoses at this breast cancer center with 7 outpatient clinics in a 200-mile radius of Western New York. They identified nearly 1,800 breast cancers diagnosed in about 1,300 women under 50 over the 11-year period in which they studied. The U.S. Preventative Service Task Force, again, recommends mammography every other year starting at 40, continuing through the age of 74. Let this be a reminder to all of us putting it off. Go get it done. They said most of the cancers were invasive, meaning they could spread beyond the breast, and many of them were aggressive types as well, especially in women under 40. Some were this triple negative form of breast cancer that's harder to treat. Women younger than 50 accounted for 1 in every 4 breast cancers detected, even in years when fewer women in that age group got screened. And the researchers call it striking because it shows younger women not only carry a stable and substantial share of breast cancer's burden, but their tumors are often biologically more aggressive. And that combination, the steady incidence plus the disproportionately aggressive biology and the lack of screening, right, directly challenge the age-based screening cutoffs and strengthens the case for earlier risk-tailored screening approaches. That younger patients should be taught how to check themselves for breast changes related to cancer, and that the screening maybe should start earlier if there are other family risk factors for cancer. The data, according to researchers, reinforces that women under 50, especially those under 40, shouldn't be seen as low risk just by default and can absolutely benefit from risk assessment being performed as early as possible, especially if you've got a strong family history, a genetic mutation. Certain minority and ethnic backgrounds are at higher risk for breast cancer at a younger age as well. The researchers say we just can't rely on age alone to decide who should be screened. Got to pay attention, family history, personal health, all of this. So hopefully they'll get this peer reviewed and into a journal, but I thought the story was important enough to bring to you. There are some advancements coming for people who have diabetes. You may no longer have to poke yourself in the finger and get yourself to bleed. The new way will be by wavelength. Light waves could monitor your glucose. In the future, it could be this device would be as small as a watch. Right now, the prototype looks more like what you're seeing on the screen, which is kind of more of a platform that you rest your arm on, and it uses light waves to measure your blood sugar. So no more finger pricks in the future. That's what's coming. So right now you see it's kind of bulky, but there are scientists at MIT who have written in the journal Analytical Chemistry to say they are on their way to scaling down this invention so that it can be a little bit more manageable, maybe even wearable. The management right now for diabetes requires a person monitoring their glucose level for a daily finger prick. You have to poke yourself and get a little blood sample. There are wearable glucose monitors, but they still have some issues. They provide constant analysis via interstitial fluid, but only after inserting a sensor wire under the skin. And even then, you have to replace the sensor every 10 to 15 days. And they are irritating to the skin sometimes. MIT researchers say nobody wants to prick their finger every day. It goes beyond pain tolerance. Many diabetic patients are under testing their blood glucose, which can cause serious complications because they don't want to do it every day. So, in looking to find this new way to monitor blood sugar without pinpricks, the researchers say they're building on research that has been developing for the last 15 years. And they have demonstrated that they could non-invasively calculate glucose levels. It's all done using this spectroscopy. It's a technique using light particles to examine and identify molecules. In this case, scientists used a device that shined near infrared and visible light on organic tissues. Then they compared the resultant Raman wave signals bouncing off skin cells, interstitial fluid, to reference glucose levels. They say it was accurate, but a while back it wasn't practical for everyday use, but it became more viable after researchers determined a workaround. They discovered they could pinpoint glucose signals by simultaneously firing these Raman signals at tissue while also shining near infrared light from a different angle. And that approach filtered out the signals from unrelated skin molecules, allowing them to locate and monitor your glucose information. Oh, when they originally did it, it was about the size of a printer. So that's not going to work unless you have someone who's always at home, right? Now they've shrunk this device to about the size of a shoebox. But they think they can shrink it down to the size of a wristwatch. Each measurement takes about 30 seconds to complete, and it shows an accuracy comparable to the wearable glucose monitors with the wires. They say if we can make non-invasive glucose monitors with high accuracy, then almost everyone with diabetes will benefit from this new technology. So they're working to make it smaller. They're working to make sure that it works with all skin tones, because that would be an issue with light and skin. So they're working on that, trying to get it fixed up and ready for market. But that could be really good for people that don't want to stick themselves every day and maybe go without testing because of it. I have a story about the International Space Station. For the first time, all of the docking ports are in use. It's the first time in 25 years this has happened. It's called an interstellar traffic jam. They're all booked up. There's no room at the inn. This is a full space station right now. The International Space Station had the most recent vehicle arrive, Northrop Grumman's Cygnus XL cargo spacecraft, repositioned to the station's Unity module, which was filling the final open port. And this is what it looks like. NASA said 8 visiting spacecraft currently at the International Space Station include vehicles from the United States. Russia's got one there. Japan is parked there. They consist of multiple SpaceX Dragon spacecraft, the Cygnus XL cargo craft, JAXA's new HTV X1 cargo vehicle, 2 Russian Soyuz crew spacecraft, and 2 Progress cargo ships. So it's pretty busy right there. I'll have to show you a different picture where you can see all of these at once. This is your space traffic jam. What it looks like up there. Here's this one. And here's a diagram of all of them. There they all are. The Progress 93, the Progress 92, the Crew 11, got the Cargo Dragon, the HTV, the Cygnus, the Soyuz, another Soyuz. So they're all full up at the International Space Station, which is kind of interesting. They say it's been an active week for supply deliveries and crew movements. On Thanksgiving, a couple NASA astronauts arrived aboard a Russian spacecraft and some Russian cosmonauts as well. The Cygnus spacecraft had to be temporarily moved to make room for their docking. Then on Monday, it was reattached to the ISS, and NASA astronauts, 3 of them, began unpacking science experiments and supplies that arrived in September. Next week, an astronaut departs the station with some Russian cosmonauts to return to Earth. So there's a lot of things going on there. Yeah. I don't know if you heard this story. There's a Russian cosmonaut that was removed from a SpaceX mission because of a security breach. It's interesting. It kind of looks like a Mike Myers in whatever movie that was. $1 billion. Looks kind of like I'm sure he's not a villain, but he looks like one. Maybe that's not very nice of me to say. My apologies to this cosmonaut, but he's caught up in a bit of a scandal. Here's a picture of him. You can see what I'm talking about. right? There he is. His name is Oleg Artemyev. He's been removed from the SpaceX Crew 12 mission after being accused of compromising U.S. national security. 54-year-old guy. He's accused of accessing sensitive information in violation of the U.S. International Traffic in Arms Regulations law that restricts the distribution of information and technology deemed important for national security. He allegedly photographed SpaceX documents and then used his phone to export classified information. Violation occurring, and an interdepartmental investigation has now been launched. And so he gets removed from the mission 2.5 months before, without, he says, a clear explanation. They think it's more of an indirect sign, but it's indicative of some type of issue. Very difficult to imagine a situation in which an experienced cosmonaut could inadvertently commit such a gross violation. They know these things. They're aware of the rules. They should be. He's accused of using his phone to photograph SpaceX engines and other secretive technology while training last week at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. He is now transferred to do other duties, and he has been replaced by another cosmonaut on this mission named Andrei Fedyev. He's a hero of Russia who became a commissioned cosmonaut in 2013. He is the recipient of the Yuri Gagarin Medal. Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen with this investigation, but he's out. He is out. Speaking of space stuff, and this, let's see what you guys think about this one. This is a story about tampering with conditions, weather. These giant space mirrors could be used to reflect and harness solar energy at night. And the thinking is, by critics, that it could get in the way of space observations and could pose a threat to human and animal health. So it would get in the way of what we got, which is, the sun comes up in the daytime, you get daylight, goes down at night, you have darkness in most parts of the world. But there's a startup in California that wants to change that pattern. It's called Reflect Orbital is the name of this company, Reflect Orbital. And they would like to launch thousands of satellites that have these reflective mirror-like panels all over them, giant space mirrors, into low Earth orbit. And they want to do this so they can redirect the sun's light onto the night side of our planet. They say the extra sunlight could be used to power solar arrays, assist with search and rescue work, even fight seasonal depression by extending daylight. They've applied to the FCC for a license. They say they're planning to start launching their satellites as early as next year. But astronomers are concerned about this. They say, wait. There's some side effects to this project. Each of these satellites has the potential to be several times brighter than the full moon. They will get in the way, according to astronomers, of viewing celestial objects. They also are concerned about risks to ecosystems and human and animal health, because we know even lights at night on can disrupt animal health. There's a astronomer at Smith College. His name is James Lowenthal. He says the nighttime is supposed to be dark, and these satellites are designed to turn night into day, and it goes against every fiber of my existence to imagine that we could intentionally banish the night. Another astronomer at the University of Regina in Canada, or Regina, says anytime a space mirror is above the horizon, the sky will be too bright to conduct the vast majority of astronomy research. The proposed square-shaped mirrors are made of mylar to boost their reflectivity. They would range in size from 33 feet to 180 feet across. One of them, 60 feet in length, could launch as early as April of 2026. And they intend to send dozens more satellites to space over the next 2 years. They want 4,000 of these space mirrors in orbit by 2030. They say last year they tested the idea with a large mirror carried aloft in a hot air balloon, which concentrated a sunbeam onto ground-based solar panels. Because these satellites will be in low Earth orbit, they'll be moving quickly across the sky, each illuminating a specific patch of ground for only a few minutes at a time. Providing continuous lighting over an extended period would require multiple satellites all working in unison, which they say they can do. Each beam from a particular satellite would be about 3 miles across as it strikes the ground. They say it would cast a soft moonlight glow, but astronomers think, nah, it's going to be harsher than that. If you were standing directly in the beam, it would look like daylight. Your sky would be bright. You would not be able to see the stars. If you were on a mountaintop looking at a valley, you would see this enormous beam of light illuminating the whole valley. And so I ask you, do we want that? Do we want to do away with the night? I don't want to do away with the night. I mean, I don't want to get in the way of progress for saying, well, this is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it's always been. We had it. This is the way nature intended it. But that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Maybe I need to shake up my brain and say, well, why wouldn't you want daytime all the time? Why wouldn't we want commerce all the time? You get to pick when you sleep. You get to pick what your hours are. You get to choose. I think, though, through various studies, we've shown that our biology is attached to the rhythm of day and night and circadian rhythms and health. It's all connected. I don't think this is a good idea. I'm going to the chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Yeah, Jim says, seems like it would screw up our sleeping, plant growth. It's right. Plant growth too. Good thinking, Jim S. Nullifidian says, no, Kim, we do not. Right? Bad idea, says Meredith. Do they think they're gods? Do not mess with Mother Nature. What could go wrong, Meredith? I'm telling you, there are probably consequences that we have, haven't even thought of yet. Put Jim on the job. What else besides plant growth? Phineas has a good point, says we need to get the space junk out that's up there floating around already. He says we got enough satellites and space junk up there. Susan says it doesn't sound like this project is a good idea. We don't deal well with time change. Why screw up the sleep cycle? Genius, tech people, says Cindy. The owls won't like it. Yeah, what about the nocturnal animals? They'll never have a peaceful night again or a peaceful day's sleep again. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. Yvonne says, I agree. I have bad insomnia. I don't think so. Beth says, I think it's a bad idea to add light pollution at night. Agree. At a time, mentioned light pollution, there's this push, especially in national parks, to have these light pollution-free areas, right? Where you can see the stars. Go stargazing, where animals are more safe from light pollution because it's healthier for them. So, I don't know. Nullifidian says, seeing the universe has already become difficult with the stuff up there now. It's true. Jim says, not sure, may even screw up the weather. When would it cool off? Jim is on the case. So true. And I don't know. They're applying for FCC permits. It's what's scary to me is it seems like and I know we don't talk politics, so I'll just say this very quickly and move on, that with the current administration, all you have to do is make a big old donation to get your way. But this could change everything. And I'll try to wrap my brain out around it over the next few days. And again, I don't want to be like one of these, people that, you know, are so stuck in the way of what is that they can't see past what the benefits would be. But all I can think about are possible problems with this. Jim mentions the weather and plants. We already know animals, us. Oh no, I'm not liking it. Yeah. Zero Sum says, I'm a walking science project. Oh no. We like science projects here. We'll take you. We like it. Yeah, Nullifidian says the current FCC will probably allow it. I did watch the series Yellowstone. I really liked it. The werewolf, says Jim, the werewolves won't be able to kill the vampires. What will we ever do? I don't know. We won't even be able to see the northern lights, says Susan. Yeah, profit before environment. It's pretty scary. This story kind of freaks me out a little bit. They also, in addition to disrupting animals, disrupting scientific research and astronomy, they're concerned about the risk of eye damage as well. The quote is this. This is from a scientist, Lowenthal. Let's see if I can find who Lowenthal is and where Lowenthal is from. Pardon me. I should have made better notes on this. James Lowenthal, who's the astronomer at Smith College, says that the eye damage possibility for humans is a concern as well. That you could just be standing in the night and all of a sudden this light hits you and there's a concern about the risk for eye damage. If you're standing there in the dark sky, he says, and suddenly, boom, there's a flash of sunlight in the sky, and you happen to be looking through a telescope, it could blind you. If you happen to be an airline pilot, it could temporarily blind you. Any type of distraction when a pilot's on approach could be quite problematic. And of course, this light could be disruptive for animals, right? We know that. We already have light pollution from homes and vehicles and industry that are disruptive for birds. So having light beamed down from space would have the same disorienting effect that light pollution from city lights has on bird migration, would result in bird deaths. It's not clear what the timeline is for FCC approval on this. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Daylight, 24 hours a day. Oh, I have to try to wrap my brain around it. I'm sure at one point there was people that said, oh, computers, putting everything on computers, bad. And here we are. I have to end it with this fun story, at least before we get to our waterfall, about these monkeys who learned to tap to the beat of the Backstreet Boys. They learned to keep time with various songs. And the thinking is that might point to how humans got their sense of rhythm. Maybe offering some evolutionary clues to why humans have rhythm. Some of us, right? Some of us have rhythm, not all of us. Yeah. These monkeys, with a bit of training, learned to tap along to the beat of music. A study was done. The findings published November 27th in the journal Science. The study suggesting the ability to perceive rhythm may be more common in the animal kingdom than we knew before. The researchers suggest that humans' sense of rhythm might have been passed down from our primate ancestors. Here's the quote from a neuroscientist at the National Autonomous University of Mexico. His name is Vani Rahendran. It says the fact that this beat tapping skill can be acquired through training has implications for our understanding of the evolutionary origins of human musicality. And this discovery could aid our knowledge of brain structures and connections required to be able to tap along, dance, or sing to music. But before the study was done, scientists thought that the only species capable of complicated vocal learning, humans and songbirds that can synchronize movements to a beat or words to a beat, right? But now, because of this study, they wanted to look in and explore whether other creatures could do it as well. So they worked with these two captive monkeys that had previously been trained to synchronize their tapping with a metronome, which is, the device that kind of clicks at regular intervals, usually used by musicians. And the researchers wanted to know whether these monkeys could expand their repertoire and learn to tap along to more complex and subjective musical beats. So they used juice or water as a reward, and they trained these monkeys to move one of their hands in time with various acoustically complex sound sequences followed by excerpts from real songs. They they used Everybody from the Backstreet Boys and a New England from the Backstreet from Billy Bragg apparently. They ran the same test with 18 human participants as well. And they say both the humans and the monkeys successfully tapped along to the beat of the music. Humans were able to do it without instruction. The monkeys required some extensive training and found the task to be effortful. But this may point to a greater generalization and flexibility in rhythm perception beyond what was assumed for non-vocal learning species. I just think it's funny that they had monkeys tapping along to the Backstreet Boys. I'm telling you, some of these studies, I don't know. It is time for Waterfall Wednesday. The moment we take a collective breath in, let it all out, and we go to a beautiful waterfall. And I know in the past we've looked at a lot of California waterfalls, so I thought we'd go a little further south and maybe check this waterfall. I found a really cool looking waterfall. It's called Cascada Sol del Mayo, and it is in Baja California. And it is all at once lush and kind of looks like you're in an oasis. Look at that. That is the Cascada Sol del Mayo waterfall. I think it's really, really pretty. It is in Baja California. It has a swimming hole attached as well. I'll show you another picture. A nice, cool, refreshing area. Cascada Sol del Mayor. So that's the waterfall. Here's a picture a little further out so you can see the swimming hole. It's like you come upon this little rocky outcropping with this beautiful waterfall and this swimming hole. It's like magic. You've just hit the magic coming in there. So pretty. It's a 15-minute walk to the waterfall. You can swim, apparently jump off the rocks, although safety not guaranteed on that one. Super, super nice. Worth the adventure, according to people who have been there and seen it. Interesting hike, beautiful plunge pool, steep hills, small waterfall surrounded by rocks, very picturesque. Really, really pretty. That's the Cascada Sol del Mayo waterfall in Baja, Mexico. There's another one I was looking at as well. It's called the El Salto Canyon and Waterfall. This one, though, looks like a pretty dangerous hike, I would say. I mean, maybe it's dangerous because I see people in pictures taking chances that maybe I wouldn't. I hear a lot in my former job as a reporter about, people getting too close to the edge of a cliffside and tumbling off. Look at that guy. But this is the El Salto Canyon and Waterfall. And there's a bunch of pictures I can scroll through to show you. This is part of the hike. And it is a beautiful hike. Also located in Baja. Some beautiful mountainous, rocky areas and canyons. Really, really pretty. And along this hike, here you can see the evidence of it, is this waterfall. You can see people going up the hill. There's some water there, and there's the waterfall. It's a lot of work to get there. A lot of hiking. And it looks like a lot of places that you could fall in wilderness. There's another waterfall you can see there. But there's a lot of hiking groups going through. And it's a beautiful area. Rushing water. There's another little mini waterfall. So along this hike at El Salto Canyon, there's a lot to see. Surprise around every corner. And that is Waterfall Wednesday. Just a little blip, little waterfalls to share. All right. Well, tomorrow is Thursday. A couple things going on. David Katz will be on the Mark Thompson show in the second hour, so that's right around noon. We will have the trivia returning to the After Party Live tomorrow, if my internet holds up. And then tomorrow is the Nikki Maduro show at 5 p.m. Pacific. So I hope you'll join me for cocktails, mocktails, and politics with that. I do want to say thank you to Nullifidian throwing a couple toward the After Party Live. Huge thank you. And Ms. Organic throwing 10 in. Cheers to the best time of year for sunsets. The sunset was amazing yesterday, wasn't it? So pretty. I don't know if it's going to translate. I'll show you on my phone. I was driving and I had my daughter grab my phone and take a picture of the sunset. It never really looks as pretty on the phone as it does in person. But here's kind of what it looked like yesterday. If you can see that. Oh, it's the glare. You probably can't see. I'm sorry. Never mind. Tomorrow I'll show it to you. I'll download it. And I took a picture. I don't know if you can see this one. I took a picture of the Christmas tree last night. My daughter had been practicing her bassoon. You probably still can't see this, huh? No? Can you see? Practicing her bassoon in front of the Christmas tree. You can see the piano and the music stand and the bassoon. It just looks so classic. So I took a picture of that. Maybe I'll download that one too and show you. It's that time of year, by the way, where you can send me pictures of your decorated house, your holiday tree, your Hanukkah accoutrement, whatever it is you celebrate in whatever way. Even if you're just welcoming winter with cozy blankets, send me a picture of something that represents the season. And if you would like to share that, you can email me. It is kim@theafterparty.live, kim@theafterparty.live. I have it. And here it is. Yeah, kim@theafterparty.live. Send me the pictures and I'll show them. We'll do another photo share. Please do that. And again, huge thank you to Nullifidian and to Ms. Organic. And for the reminder about the sunsets. Yeah, yesterday the sky was amazing. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow on the Mark Thompson show. And until we meet again, make it the very best rest of your Wednesday. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
You, me, and the raccoon, Yvonne. Yeah, that's wonderful. Glad to hear it. Really, really good news. Send them on in, Lori. I'll take a cookie picture. Absolutely. Wow. That is amazing. Really, really good news. Yeah. Really wonderful to hear that.